Hello, and welcome to Moscato and Tea. This is the show for all things beauty, business, and community. With your hosts, Inez and Chiquita, keeping it raw, real, and unfiltered.
Ladybug.
What? I gotta think of a name for you.
Okay. What do you think?
I don't know. I gotta think of
well,
something.
I do have my other name for you is Crazy Lady.
I know you. Every time I know. Yeah. You know, do you know
what?
That I get a kick out of our text messages.
Listen, we're going to talk about this text message before. This is our second Hot Topics episode, part 2. And so we're going to get into these text messages really quick because why did you send me this text? Okay, something funny happened and I texted you about it.
Yes. And you know, I take every opportunity.
You really do. And you just texted me, what is this? The emoji, eggplant emoji.
No, I texted her a meme with an eggplant.
Yeah, whatever they call it.
It's moving.
I'm just like, she is too much. And I said I was going to block you. So I'm really determined to block you one day because you're just messy. Okay?
You're never going to block me. And then she tries to block me and she goes, I'm going to block you. Then I'll send her another meme like, you love me and you know you do. So it's our dynamic is like that.
She is a mess.
She'll send me some stuff and then I always find the humor
in everything.
And she's like, I can't. I'm trying to be serious here. And I'm like, let's look at the other side of all of this.
I'm just like, the way your mind works, it's just like, it's crazy. So that's why I say Crazy Lady, because it's just like, what in the world? I wouldn't even gone there, but of course you have.
So that's what makes us great. Where you won't go, I will.
Exactly. That's what makes this podcast, because you're a hot mess. That's what I told you in the text message. But let's get into some hot topics.
Absolutely.
Daylight savings vote. Yes. They voted to make it permanent. Now, my thing is, of all the things they could be voting on in the world, why did they all agreed, and Republicans, Democrats, Independents, all of them, on this to make it permanent, but we can't vote on serious things like child care, health care, what else is there? Water, pipes, housing.
Let me tell you.
But y'all want to vote on daylight savings and agree?
You know why? Because it doesn't involve money. It doesn't involve your beliefs.
That's true.
All it involves is how do you feel losing an hour and gaining an hour.
Because that actually puts more money in the pockets of businesses because it's more daylight throughout the day. So restaurants will still be open.
That's all. I mean, money. That's all it is. Like, I'm like, damn, why do we have to take back the clock? Or, oh, man, why do we lose an hour? You're discombobulated for days.
I'm still trying to recover.
Or, me too. Or weeks. So they all feel it. Every single person.
And everybody agreed.
Yeah. So they're like, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. That's all it's about, is about how are you feeling afterwards. They ain't losing no money. Mm-hmm. You don't have to put no money. You don't have to politically be like, that's right, that's wrong. All it is like, shit, I hate waking up. Yeah. I hate losing that hour.
That is hilarious to me that this is what they all agreed on.
Because it does not surprise me.
It just shows how the lack of, I don't know.
The lack of understanding for humanity and people's lives. Yeah. This is daylight savings. All it is, they know how they feel themselves when they lose an hour or you gain an hour, and how the body reacts. So here's another thing, I think a lot of times with political and Thursday, if you've never lived that, you can't understand it. So if you don't understand it, then you're going to be against it because you don't understand it. And you're like, well, I never lived that, so fuck that. I don't want that.
Yeah. But it's amazing because they're out there giving speeches on video like, we voted for this. We created this to make it permanent because of this and this. I'm like, really? This is what you want to sit up here and do a video on?
Are you surprised on anything that has to do with... I'm just like, okay, cool. Then that means I don't have to worry about taking back the clock or losing an hour or gaining an hour.
It's crazy.
And you know what, to be honest, I understand why they did it back in the day because it was, farming. There wasn't all kinds of stuff.
Well, it's from what I gather, some people are saying it's because they wanted to keep people enslaved for cropping to stay out longer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The farming, quote farming. Yes. So they had to. So the more daylight it is, the longer they could stay outside.
Oof, Lord.
But at the end of the day, the sun and the universe does it on its own anyways.
Yeah.
The body's still at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's still hella dark. My body wants to still sleep.
Yeah.
It's still dark. So I don't know. I just think it's stupid, and I think it's dumb. And at the end of the day, it is what it is.
It's a mess. That's what it is. And within that same thing, they are voting, or they did vote on the Crown Act. And the Crown Act basically is keeping people from being discriminated against because of their hair. And it's like, okay, I'm glad we have that, but at the same time, it's like, why? Yeah, that should not even be a question.
Like, again,
because it's like, you want to vote on this, but then we have these other things which are like
oppression to keep people down. It's called oppression. It's called to keep people down. How you cannot? I mean, it's frustrating.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's frustrating. People of color, especially black women, men, our hair grows out a different format. That is not something we can control.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're basically punishing for something that is out of our control, and that is to oppress, but let someone of none do it, and it's a fashion style and icon. We already know this. So what they do is they oppress so they can get what they want and make money off of it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. People keep saying, again, when I watch, so it's like, you got these non-women of color with box braids and all their stuff, and they're getting all mad. And we're like, girl, do you realize that your hair can't handle that? The texture, and you got no, it's all kinds of, it's not about trying to gatekeep something. It's about the reality. And why are people so pressed to take somebody's culture and act like it is an accessory?
Listen.
That's what I want to know. Why are people so pressed to take something that is culturally, and there's a significance and there's a meaning behind it, and claim it like it's not? There's a reason that people braids and cornrow. It was a map to be able to escape and do all these. But now it's like, hey, I can do. It's like, wait a minute. Why are you? Same with, like they always say, our culture isn't a costume.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe people need to start looking into their own and figure out where they come from and what they're doing and what are their beliefs and cultures, and start utilizing. And nobody's saying that people of color aren't trying to share, because all of everything is all based off of
everything. Yeah.
Everything.
They're still in everything.
Music. Everything the cowboy. How about that?
Yeah.
Even though white people want to say, oh, it's a cowboy. No. Do you know where the origin of the cowboy comes from?
Exactly.
It comes from slavery. Original cowboys were black men.
Listen.
But, slaves. All of that. But then they want to be like, oh, we're the... Start looking at these origins and start realizing. And nobody's saying you can't appreciate and love it.
Of course.
That's what makes it. But be respectful to it. You can't, that's the problem. There is no respect.
Yeah.
People want to say, I like it, I want it, I don't give it, and I'm going to do whatever I want, and disrespect it.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like that. That's like if somebody goes all of a sudden and, here you go, prime example, Latinos, Mexican, Dia de los Muertos, right? They're doing their thing, and that's culturally whatever, and then somebody decides and says, you know what? I'm going to take it and I'm going to do my own representation of it.
Listen.
And do the whole thing, and then they wonder why people are mad. The same thing when I was watching on with all of that, just to be clear, like on TikTok and all that, they'll have a lot of Asian cuisine, right? Like they show and then the Asian creator, who it's their culture, their food, does it. Then a person of
Listen.
does the same shit and then calls it something else and it blows up, but doesn't say, actually, this is from...
Exactly. And that person go on TV, do all this, and get book deals.
And that's why they do what they do, because they get, it's almost like, oh my God, they discovered America, or they discovered something new, and they're like, bitch, that's been my culture forever, and this is what we eat all the 24/7. I just saw this thing. We eat, culture. We always eat plantains. Plátanos, we always eat. That's man, it's a staple. You could have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I grew up like that. I still love it. And then they were showing somebody on TikTok talk about how many calories are in plant. And this one lady goes, who cares? I don't care. It's my culture. I don't care if it's 5,000 calories. That's what I said. I said, I don't care how many calories are in my plantains. Yeah. I want to eat my plantains. That's my food. So, it's one of those things where you're just like, I don't even know.
It's crazy. That is really crazy. Well, it also goes into, what I've been seeing or noticed lately is a lot of big corporations. Some are. I'm not going to say all, but some are not pulling out of Russia. They did get one Halliburton. They did pull out from working in Russia. But other places like Coca-Cola, Subway, a lot of these places are still over there, and doing business, making money. So it's just like... Can you fault them for running a business, and have workers and stuff like that in Russia? They got to make a living, pay their bills and stuff, and they work at these companies. Or should these companies close down, put people out of work and all that stuff because of what's going on with Ukraine? So it's kind of like, how do you?
The question is, do you punish people for one person's decision?
Exactly.
Consequence, right? So the question is the consequence big enough for what they're doing? I mean, I understand, but I wonder, this is just my question. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm wondering if all of those companies pulled out and everybody left, what position would that put Putin in to have to do would it change his positioning? Yeah. Would he pull back? Would he allow his country and his people to suffer? And at a point, would the people all of a sudden, say, hey, we've had, there's all kinds of questions that come with that.
Or would that force him to go into nuclear?
Yeah, or would that force the ultimate decision. Right? So either way, it's a loss. It's a double-edged sword. Either way, people, it's a loss. So that's a good question. And like I said, I look at it as a double-edged sword. It doesn't matter what they do. Damn if they do. Damn if they don't.
Yeah, it's really true, because I know some. Well, from what I gather, some people, of course, they're protesting and stuff like that. The people in Russia, but at the same time, it's like they are literally cut off and getting propaganda type of news. So it's like they really are suffering just as,
That's you
can't win no matter what.
That situation, no one's winning. When it comes to wars and it comes to certain things, nobody wins. Nobody wins. Everybody loses. Yeah. Even at the end, we came out winners. No, because you lost just as much as they did. It's this whole thing where nobody wants to talk. Again, they say no one to talk. Everybody wants me, and what I want. Question is, it's just, it's crazy. I don't have an answer. I always have something to say. It's just, I'm like, it's a double-edged sword. It's a lose-lose. Everybody's losing in this. Everybody's losing.
Yeah. Well, it also, which is really crazy to me also out there in Ukraine, because it's like, and I talked to another friend about this, and you want to be supportive and do what you can and stuff like that. But I'm also hearing stories of how, Black people out there are being denied to leave. I've
seen it. I've seen some stuff on social media, and they're like, we're hungry, we're here, we want to be out. These are, the Black people a lot of them are from Africa and coming, they're
nursing schools and stuff like that.
Where they can, So again, it's and then I've seen stuff where don't come to our country if you don't, it's like,
but you want us to, be supportive, donate, send this to help you guys fight. But it's like, you see this too, and it's just like, how do you?
Yeah, you see that, and it's like, as a person of color, you're like, fuck that. Like, they're not even we don't even get taken care of here. We're not being taken care of anywhere in the world. Yeah. Right?
It's crazy.
But we're the ones that are leaders in everything in the world. So please explain that.
Yeah. How should we proceed?
Yes. The only thing with that said, just FYI, because we're talking about that, Netflix has a new reality TV show. It's called Young, Famous, and African.
Okay.
I started watching it. Wowzers. So, these are rich people, in Africa that have lots of money. They're famous. They got, they're living a very luxurious lifestyle that you only see, like, quote unquote, private jets, all of this stuff. And they're showing Africa in such a different light.
Okay.
They're showing the beauty. Yeah. It's a very.
I want to go there one day.
Yeah, I do too. They're in South Africa.
Okay.
So they have different people, like from Ghana, from Nigeria. These are very famous, and they're all coming together in South Africa. I think it was like Lagos, I believe it is. And they're showing Africa in such a beautiful manner. Besides, people living in a hut and poor. You know what I'm saying? It's like every time they show LA, all you see is or it's the gutter. There are beautiful parts of it, and it was showing that it's such an updated metropolitan city and lifestyle. I was like, yo, I need to get over there. Yeah. Because it's, not that I didn't ever wanted to go. Yeah. But I've always wanted to go. But now to see it in such a
new light.
And it was like, finally. Yeah. Finally, they're showing that, that's such BS that everybody comes from shithole. They're princes and queens. They're real princes and, and queens and kings and, all of this stuff that they have over there that they've carried over in their tradition, but it's modernized.
Okay.
That's
like that.
You know what I'm saying? It's more modernized. They're keeping their traditions, but it's very much more modernized. They keep up with technology. They keep up with a lot of stuff that they think that they don't.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, check it out. I be laughing because they be killing me on some of this stuff. Same dramas, baby mamas.
Really?
Everything. Listen, at the end of the day,
we're out.
You know what? You might get a Housewives of Beverly Hills, or here we go. What's another one? Like the Shahs of Sunset.
Yeah, I love that show.
Okay, me too. Right? You got the Shahs of Sunset, where everybody is You got men, women, everything, or it's just the same thing, but in Africa.
Okay, I'm about to check it out.
Yeah, it's the same rich money, lifestyle, drama.
Yeah,
it's great.
Well, speaking of, two things. Netflix, they're actually going to be doing like a new plan where you have to, if your friend uses your password, they're going to have a second. I use my friend password. No shade.
Listen, why are you putting that out? Allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you? I'm like, you're right. No, but here's the thing. Somebody mentioned that as well, and they were talking about how can Netflix really monitor that. Let's say we all live together. We live together. I'm in Dallas on business. How are you going to know that I don't live there? That's true. That I'm not on vacation? How are you monitoring that?
That's true.
That's just a question. So how are they going to spy on it? Like, that's the $1 million question. So me and my daughter lives, we same household. Yeah. Sometimes I go, so she's not allowed to be in Long Beach for school for 2 days, 3 days, come back home. We're still in the same household, but so now you're going to tell me that I got to pay for her because she's somewhere else? Or let's say you're at a friend's house and be like, let's just log into my account. We can watch it. No big deal. How are they going to really monitor that? How are they going to know? Are you saying are they going to see, or how? This is another question. How many people don't have multiple homes?
That's true.
Right? Let's say you have multiple homes. It's the same household. Let's just quote unquote. Let's say you got an Airbnb. That's your home. That's your passcode. Now you're going to say it's not? Or let's say you have a vacation home. We're in the summer, winter, whatever. We're all still part of the same household. Just because I'm not at that particular house doesn't mean that I can't use my passcode. I'm traveling. I want to watch my Netflix show. I got to go into the hotel thingy and put in my password.
That's true. So true.
So
it's interesting.
Interesting. So how are you going to do it, Netflix?
It's all about money at the end of the day.
Yeah, right?
With TV and stuff, I just recently watched this show, and this was on OWN. The Ladies Who List of Atlanta, and it's black women who are real estate agents.
I started watching.
You watched it?
Girl, let me tell you, I got Discovery Plus.
Okay.
With Discovery Plus, it has OWN.
Yeah.
Girl, I've been watching all kinds of stuff off of there. Amazing. I like it. I mean, it's interesting.
Yes.
Because they also had another one on Netflix.
The Selling Sunset or
they had
Tampa
they had Selling Sunset, but then they also had Selling Miami.
Yes, Selling Miami,
and it was all a bunch of black women and all of that. So I find it interesting. I think it's great. I mean, I think it's to the point. Here's what I've kind of noticed. I hope it isn't true. It's gotten to the point where there is no creativity. So now they're just putting reality.
Yes.
Quote unquote reality TV out there because there is no creativity.
Yes. I agree.
Right?
I agree.
So now it's kind of like, all right, whatever. I mean, I'm watching like dating shows, like, Netflix.
There's so many.
Girl, like Love is Blind on Netflix. That shit was great. Season 2 was amazing.
Meredith's Side, all this.
Yeah, and then I'm on OWN, I'm watching Ready to Love.
Yeah.
What was it? Love is Blind. It had a little more diverse, casting, while Ready to Love is all a bunch of black folks from the DMV. So, it's just... Yeah. To the point where I was like, okay, I would like to watch a good movie. Yeah. But what is a good movie? Speaking of which, that was the other one, which, what was it? Was it Discovering or Finding Anna, whatever it was? That Netflix show
about the girl that swindled everybody?
Yeah. I'm like, what is going on with people?
Everybody's swindling everybody. It's scamming season. That's what they say.
Girl, it is so now they have a new one called Bad Vegan about some chick who was...
Yes, I heard about that. I was going to watch that next.
Yeah, that's I'm going to watch that one next, so we could talk about that one. Yeah. One of my favorite shows used to be called... What was it called? Shoot, I got to think about it. But it was about... American Greed. Best show. It was about people who swindled people.
That's what I don't get with people when they do that. It's just... I guess you can call me lazy or whatever, but it's like, that's too much work.
Yeah, robbing people. It was like, they talk about like Burning Man. I was like, American Greed is amazing because you're like, wow, people really think like them? Yeah. It was the same one, what is it, Killer Roommates? Have you seen Killer Roommates?
No.
On Netflix?
What is with these people?
Girl, it made me never want to have a roommate. I was like...
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on? Yeah. It's to the point where you just don't. You're like, it makes you want to be in a box.
Seriously,
and
you call me a hermit. Listen,
yeah, but I'm like, what is going on? So as far as we talk about like these things and showing reality TV and so forth, and now they're saying look at how music is going. They're doing what they're doing is taking beats from the past and doing it now. Right? And it ain't even like you're like, wow, so even producers don't have that creativity to create original beats?
That's true.
That now, I understand sampling.
Yeah, of course.
I understand they used to sample here, but they're literally taking the whole song.
And are they getting permission? That's the thing.
Well, of course they got to get permission.
Well, some people...
because speaking of which, that was like something too, like, and reggaeton and I listened to reggaeton and everything. They were talking about that there's a song that Bad Bunny had done. Excuse me if I sneeze, it's because my... Thank you. My allergy. Had done and had taken, I think it's called whatever. But anyways, him and some other guy, they did a collab together and they took a beat for Missy Elliott's Get Your Freak On.
What?
Yes. In the song, it's in there. It's in and it's a super popular song, probably another one of Bad Bunny's big hits, whatever. But they took a sample from Missy's Get Your Freak On.
Yeah.
But his team didn't get permission from Missy Elliott to use that beat.
Oh.
Right? Missy found out and she wanted to sue. But I guess they went to the table and got made a deal where she's getting, they're saying, they're making it a big deal, like whatever, but this is to teach people you can't go in there and just take songs and make sure you're getting permission. So they're saying like she got like a huge percentage of the royalties from using that beat. And I was like, okay, well then you guys aren't being original and you want to use these beats, then you need to pay people and ask permission for it. So they're like, so they're saying the group, Bad Bunny, everybody who made the song isn't going to make as much money as she is. I go, well, yeah, that's her beat.
Yeah.
You need to ask her to use the beat. You're making millions off of it, but it's her beat.
Yeah.
So she should be paid.
Because you wouldn't want somebody to do that to you.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then even with movies, they're talking about they're remaking a bunch of old movies.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And the remakes suck.
Listen. Like you said, there's nothing original out there.
They're talking.
At all.
I don't know.
It's
I'm
sad.
kind of excited, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm a Shrek girl. I always loved all the Shrek movies, the cartoon movies. I think they're funny as hell. They're talking about they're remaking it again. They're going to do another one, but they do say, from what I understand, like Eddie Murphy and Cameron Diaz is on. But who's going to play Shrek if Mike Myers doesn't come back?
Yeah.
Who's going to play? He was.
I know he has another movie about to come out on Netflix.
Okay, yeah. And so, it's kind of, the new Batman, I haven't seen it, but
I don't want to see it. I'm be honest.
I heard it was okay. It was good. But,
I
it's
just
like,
can't
how
picture
many...
him like that. I remember him in Twilight, and it's just
I know,
like, and
but you
don't
gotta
judge
give
me for
you
reading and
gotta
watching
give
Twilight. Okay, but it's just hard for me to see him.
You got to give people opportunity. It's called acting.
I agree. I just can't. He just, to me, does not come across as like a Michael Keaton type of Batman.
Are you serious? I didn't even like Michael Keaton as Batman.
I did.
Well, first of all, my favorite Batman was Dark Knight, and it was Christian Bale.
Yeah, him too. Yeah, I like those too.
I will say he was my favorite because Batman was supposed to be like that.
Yeah,
dark,
gritty.
Yeah, he was supposed to be like that. So I think he did the best.
Yeah.
Batman version, but he was the Dark Knight.
Yeah, I agree.
You think about all the Batman, George Clooney.
Yeah,
I was like, I forgot George Clooney.
I forgot about that too.
What's his name? Kiefer Sutherland. You got all these different guys, and you're like, wow, who hasn't played the best Batman?
Well, I am happy for Zoe Kravitz. She got to play Catwoman.
Right.
And
they were showing all the Catwomen from like all the years. Yeah. Eartha Kitt is still.
But it was interesting how she said that, and she didn't say who said it, but they wouldn't let her audition the first time out for the last Batman because she was too urban. So it's just like one of those things where she's too urban, but you guys use our culture and everything. But then you want to say this.
Well, exactly. It just depends on who or what. They're remaking things. They're not coming up with original. Even on Netflix, they'll remake a movie, and I'll look and I go, this is trash.
Oh, yeah.
Can we just leave it alone? Can we get some kind of, ideas? That's what made it great. Where's, like when it came out, you had E.T., you had Star Wars, you had... I don't know, all these really cool movies.
Well, I do want to see, and even though it is a remake, I do want to see Cheaper by the Dozen with Gabrielle Union. That looks really funny.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to check it out.
I will check that out.
My daughter's kind of hesitant because when she was young, that was one of her favorite movies.
Yes, I love it.
And she made me watch it 50 million times. I'd be like, we got to watch this again?
Yeah.
And she goes, what?
Okay, it looks cute, the new version.
Yeah, so it looks
cute.
cute.
It's more modern, updated.
Yes,
and
I like it that it was blended.
Yes, I like that.
Very much so. I think it's coming in with the times. If you're going to do a remake, at least try to do it coming in with the times. And please use actors.
Yeah.
I am sick of these reality people doing movies that cannot act.
Yes. Listen,
it's terrible. You're like, what am I watching?
Yeah, don't get me started. Before we end off this, I do want to bring up, because I was just like, what in the world? COVID. So now they're talking about a fourth shot. I'm not. I'm like, what is going on? And there's another version, B9 or something version. They're talking about all the different variant concerns. I'm just like, what is happening? I thought, I know, I believe in Hong Kong, there's another outbreak.
Yeah, I read somewhere like they're on lockdown again.
Yeah, or China. Yeah, and they're on lockdown and stuff like that. And it's just like, you guys, hello. And I know a lot of places are like, they're done with masks. I'm still wearing my mask. I ain't gonna lie. But
it's kind of weird when I do because I still wear mine sometimes. And I'm like, I think people look at you and I'm like, yeah. But then I'll go places workers aren't even wearing masks.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm like, oh, okay. It's kind of like, it's a very weird place to be in.
Mm-hmm. It really is. It really is, and it's just really crazy. Like
what people aren't reading. Okay, so there's so many variants, right?
There are different variants, and then it's highly, effective. And they say that you can still like wearing masks, but it's not like it's not mandatory or whatever. But it's just like really interesting how we are really getting away, and they're constantly talking about personal choice, this and that, but at the same time, it's like the numbers are still rising.
Well, I mean, again, it's a personal choice, and there's consequences for whatever personal choice you do. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. Yeah. Like, we cannot dictate in. I understand. Okay, here's the thing. I understood at the beginning, didn't know what we were working with.
Yeah.
Okay? Get it. It is what it is. But it comes to a point, instead of it became so political that it took away from the
actual, trying to get it under control.
Under control, right?
Yeah.
That's the key. The key isn't to control, it's to control the breakout.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah. Not human life. It's to control that so it doesn't kill off all of the population.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, right? And so sometimes, I don't care if you believe in vaccination, I don't really care. The idea is that, people either have to come together to stop one thing or they don't. Yeah. So if everybody's like, fuck it, I don't want to get vaccinated. So just know that vaccination doesn't guarantee not dying. It's just, like I said, when it's your time, it's your time. What vaccination does is it's supposed to help your body fight whatever it is, right? Here's the thing. Like, let's say we don't have polio anymore.
That's what I'm saying. We had the Spanish flu.
We don't have rubella. We don't have measles, mumps. The shit that was killing off people because people were like, okay, well, what do we need to do to control whatever it is, what not? So if we start seeing all of these things coming back again, because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah. That's true.
That's just the nature. Eventually, it's a disease. It comes. It's going to show up again if, and people are like, vaccinations this, listen. You could literally have a cup of tea and have a stroke. You could do whatever. It's your body, your choice. That's fine. Nobody's saying you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But don't make it so other people can make their choices.
That's the thing about it. It's like, you're not thinking about your fellow human.
Listen, this is the way. Don't tell me what to do with my body because I ain't in your bedroom telling you what to do, okay? So don't tell me what I can do with mine. And that's the problem. That goes all the way down from vaccinations to abortions to whatever it is, anything. If I'm in a car accident and the doctor says to me, you have to amputate your leg or live, if I choose not to, and I know that's a possibility I'm going to die because I didn't amputate, that's my choice. He's giving me the option. You either do or don't, but know that there's a consequence to either one.
Yeah.
So I just think that, they're always listen, I always believe there's always going to be diseases. Because of the way we are and how things are going. If we could just stop making it political and making it a personal choice and know that there is consequences to your choice.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and advocate and say, fuck being vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. You get sick and now everybody has to drop everything because you made choices. That would be me. Well, I chose not to. Well, I got to go through and pray and hope that I'm not pushing that on anybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But if you choose not to, then you might, and you recover you might think and go, well, maybe I should go ahead and go get back because I didn't like that feeling.
Exactly. And on that note, we're ending this new episode of Hot Topics because it's a doozy. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Take a little time to enjoy your brand of Moscato and tea with us every day. Subscribe, rate, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and moscatoandtea.com.